Hi guys, welcome to my house. It's a Saturday morning here and my husband and kids they're having a leisurely campfire morning. I'm gonna do a quick film while the house is relatively quiet and hope that it goes okay. So today I am gonna be just walking you through our common area. At the moment, our kitchen table is actually outside on our deck because it's a beautiful day. So we took it out to enjoy our breakfast al fresco. So I will show you where it usually goes, but this is our living room common space. And I'm gonna pull open baskets and show you so that you can kind of see what we store where in case you are trying to find a way to store stuff in a small house. Maybe this will give you some inspiration and some hope that it is possible. Okay, so from standing outside on the deck, we have these two awesome windows, sliding doors here. One is on this side of the room and it just gives so much light and makes this space, which is not super big, feel very spacious and airy. And then the other is on this wall. The complication of that is that it does make arranging furniture a little bit difficult, but we make it work. Back here, I have hung up my kids' candy from our church harvest party that we went to. So that's all up there. That wouldn't normally be there, but there we go. Okay, so right here is kind of our lounge area. So we have our couch, which is, I think technically a two-seater, maybe a three-seater. We fit all of us on it, but we are on the verge of outgrowing it. So that's a bit small. One of the things I absolutely love about this couch is the fact that it has space for storage underneath of it. So we keep our cloth diapering stuff in this bin, and then this is a change mat because we have not yet potty trained our 18-month-old. That's probably next month's project. But the great part is that we can just sit on the floor, have the cloth diapers, have the change mat, change his diaper, and it's all done right there. We do have a wood stove, which is our primary form of heat in this house. We have heaters that we can plug in, but overall it is just the wood stove. So in the winter time, when we're actually running the wood stove, I shift everything over and this door entryway just gets a little bit smaller so that the fabric is farther away from the wood stove. So I have a little collection of plants up here, an orchid. This is just like a desk organizer and we keep random cords in here. So dongles, there's not many phone cords. And I think that's actually in the wrong spot. This is like a headphone charger or something, or a dongle. Various USB-C cords up there. This is our card game bin. So we have just card games, cribbage. I think there's even pickup sticks in there. So there's a variety of cards and card games that are right there. This is our our napkin, our cloth napkin bin. So kind of an odd spot for it, but it works. This is the library bin. So this is where we store our library books when we come home from the library. And then I can just take the bucket with me to the library to return stuff. This is our kids' most favorite chair in the whole house, which is the hammock chair. Also doubles as a laundry drying mat when we need to. So this spot is where the table usually goes, and we usually have 4 chairs with it. And then the bench against the wall. So I didn't move the bench out. I just moved the table and the chairs out, and we grabbed a couple chairs from outside in order to eat outside today. But looking over this way, this is our kids', this is actually the door that we primarily use as our entryway. And so a lot of our shoes are stored outside, but the kids have some of their shoes inside. So these are the shoes for my 18-month-old. These are my 3-year-old's shoes, and the girls have a few more shoes, I feel like. That's my 5-year-old, and then my 7-year-old, and slippers we just keep in there as well. Up here, this is kind of just random. These are sunglasses just right here by the door. These are random keys that are up there, and then kind of just a pretty artistic display. This is where we always keep our car keys, and they need to come back there so that, because we only have one set of car keys. So then my husband and I, and we only have one car, so my husband and I just put them there when we're done. Disposable stuff, because I do use disposables for my little guy at nighttime. This is actually his pajama bin, And so his pajamas are here, and then if it's cold, we layer him up with sweaters. We're kind of getting out of that season. And these are his nappy covers because they don't quite fit in the other bin when all of the diapers are clean. I currently have a load of nappies in the washer washing, so that wasn't the full stash. These are our like board books for our little kiddos. This is a gather mat. My sister got that for me, I think 3 or 4 kids ago, and it is fantastic to put underneath of the kids' high chairs, which is wonderful. This is a little cupboard that is super deep, which is great, and it's just kind of our stash cupboard. So kombucha making stuff comes up here, bottles and juice supply and whatnot. And then this is kind of a pantry overflow down here, and it's also, I get this large like caterer's size thing of baking paper because I go through a lot of baking paper, and it just doesn't fit in any other cupboard, so it has to fit here because it's extra deep. And then some extra oven racks. We just recently got a new oven, so I'm still using the old oven racks because they're the ugly ones, and I'm keeping those nice for as long as possible. And then over here we have just like computer charge things and some other random stuff that has gotten stashed down there that I need to go through. This is kind of our computer holding station. So when the computers are not in use, they're up here and we can charge them. There's enough room to charge them right there. So that's kind of the charge point. This is the entry into my kids' room, which I have a whole nother video on. The girls' aprons, not just the girls, the boys, my boys wear aprons too. On the back side of the door here, we keep sleep sacks and a ring sling, and then just some paperwork stuff. So the kids' chore charts. This is a list of soul words, feeling words, which I find super helpful for helping me identify my own feelings. I tend to be more of like an avoidant attachment style. So this is helpful for me. My daughter wrote out a Bible verse that she wanted to display. Random potatoes being stored there because I haven't shuffled them over. And then this is actually kind of in the walkway. I'm standing inside the kitchen now, but this kind of doubles as like extra pantry, as well as homeschool stuff, as well as like, this is like my vitamin iron bin sort of thing. These are homeschool resources that we usually only pull out once or twice a week. This is sort of this is like my planner, a workbook that I'm working through, random planning pages and notebooks for jotting notes. Cute picture of my husband and our little girls back there. Yeah, just kind of the catch-all, note sheet things where I jot down notes and recipes and things like that. This is mostly, more paperwork. I clearly need to go through, this is blank paper. I need to go through this and sort some of that out. This is where my girls keep their in-process artwork projects. These are all coloring books, that sort of thing, colored pencils. And we keep pens, pencils, scissors, all of that stuff that you can see. Family photo books and more kind of read aloud resources, the older kids kind of reading stuff. And then this is our main homeschool curriculum shelf here that we are using almost every day. This is food storage, but my daughters steal all of our food storage containers. Food storage container spot. And that's where my girls steal all of that to play in their doll kingdom, but the containers go there and then the lid's down there. And then onions and potatoes. And I think the last thing I will show you here is up here. So I just have some, like one of our salad bowls, our only, I guess technically salad bowl, a cake stand, 2 pie dishes, and then these are all some candles over there and candle holders, and then these are all teas. So because our kettle is here and our mugs are here, somebody can stand over on this side of the counter and make themselves tea. So this is like hot cocoa, Milo, and some more herbal oriented stuff. And then this is our collection of black teas. We are not minimalists when it comes to teas, obviously. We love our teas. And then this is our collection. This is a bit dusty, so we don't do our loose leaf teas quite as often, but loose leaf teas, matcha, that sort of stuff is here. So all of that gets stashed up on the shelf up there. I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough of our common space. I would not say that we are extreme minimalists. I think I've said that in other videos, but we do try to respect the space boundaries that we have. And when we run into having more stuff than what fits in our space, we know we have to prioritize and keep the things that are at the higher end of the priority list and get rid of the things that are at the lower end of the priority list. So that's kind of just how we function. If something new comes into the house, at this point, there's not a lot of space left in our house that we're willing to give up to store more things. So when something new comes in, we usually feel like we need to get something else out. Would it be nice to have more chairs in the living room? Maybe more couches, but what we have actually works fine for our family, especially with our young kids. They're not sitting for long periods of time with us in the living room. When they're sitting, oftentimes I'm working in the kitchen, my husband's doing other things, or when my husband and I are sitting, it's either after they go to bed or they're playing. So at the moment, we can get by with a relatively small amount of furniture in order for our whole family of 6, because it just works with our lifestyle. We know that that will change in the future, that there will be different seasons, but we're not trying to buy furniture for the future season. We're trying to just live in the present. This is a rented apartment or rented cottage. We won't live here forever. And so this is just kind of where we're at right now and making it work. If you are moving into a small space or you live in a small space, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Let me know. I will read them and I will respond. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me for my tour. And I hope that it has been helpful for you to just see how one family with 4 young kids makes do in a 650 square foot cottage, and really feels like we enjoy it. It's a positive thing in our life. So thanks so much. And you can check out the rest of my videos on our more in-depth house tour or my cottage walkthrough tour, which shows you kind of the flow of all of the rooms. So thanks, and I will see you in my next video.